There we go. The unexpected flaw of Lazarbeam video game.
People thought Lazarbeam's video game could be the next Fortnite, but with only 10 people
World
playing
Boss?
at any one time, and
10
comments
people?
calling it the worst game I have installed, something clearly went
Wait,
wrong.
what happened?
It all began with this tweet here. I am making a game. I ain't telling you anything yet. The most liked response gets a skin in the game. Wishlist the game on Steam so you can test it with us. Mr. Fresh Asian had made a similar tweet, attaching a short trailer giving their fans a sneak peek.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your new world.
Boss?
Screenshots on Steam showed graphics like Fortnite, which made total sense, as this is what their combined over 30 million followers already played and naturally enjoyed.
Yeah, but that's too similar to Fortnite. You know what they should have done? Oh, right. My bad, guys. You know what they should have done? They should have gone with cell shading. Cell shading, I think people will love a video game with cell shading shooter game, maybe? I don't know. I finished, bot got into Discord earlier. I banned it. Oh, so that was an alert. It wasn't an alert. Okay, I was like, wait, I got an out everyone. Yeah, was there an alert? Yeah, I was looking at it. I was looking for it. I was like, what happened? Oh yeah, this locks right here. Oh, here it is. Pelly. Oh, the member Pelly. I didn't notice this one. I want to give out my MacBook Air. What the hell? I thought it was shipping. We should go to Joe Rogan's comedy club. Everybody? Oh yeah, I'll be down. Yeah, I'll be down.
Old boss, guys. Blannon and I love this game. We've been working on it for a while. Definitely come test it with us.
Can't wait for this game. Looks like lots of fun. Hyped for the game, can't wait.
I'll be down.
This game is about to be the new Fortnite. Additionally, it was being developed by Australia's largest video game developer, who'd clearly done an incredible job when they'd finally released the open beta.
Okay.
Players found it to be a mix of Fortnite and TF2. Players are dropped into an arena and have to kill other players to move up the ranks. Upon reaching first,
it looks very generic. There's nothing in those images or graphics gives it a unique feeling to it, and that's what you need with a game and a brand. You need something unique to it, right? You know, like how Fortnite had like their specific style, and they kind of took that with every character, and not every character worked for them, right? With like skins and all that, but they still stick with their style and it's unique to them. So that's like their brand, their image, and uniqueness too, right? Same thing with like every fighting game, you know, they have their own art styles to it. Pretty much every game, really. And so with something like this, it feels very, very generic, like a mobile-like game. It's like, okay, something very forgettable. You won't remember anything about this game.
Place, you're given the role of World Boss, who has extra health and armor, although everybody now knows your location. The gameplay showcase gained 200,000 views, implying loads of people would be rushing to install it. Naturally, Lazarbeam and Fresh also began to promote the game. Fresh posted 2 dedicated videos, totaling north of 3 million views, whilst Lazarbeam filmed the game with Lachlan before officially promoting the game's release. I spent 365 days making a game.
Alright, that's well, boss. Obviously, it's still early access on Steam, but try it out, give us your feedback.
Having added another 5 million views worth of exposure, the game seemed guaranteed at least moderate success. Comments read, since you guys are popular, you guys will instantly have a popular game, although for whatever reason, this simply didn't happen.
Yeah, what
Despite
happened?
almost 10 million viewers learning about the free game, it achieved an opening peak of just a little over 1,000 players. The month after,
Why?
it was 800, then 300 the month after that, showing that the game clearly had some problems.
Yeah,
Of the
what
hundreds of
happened?
negative Steam reviews, most mentioned the game's poor graphical performance. One user wrote, this just feels like a laggy Roblox/Fortnite clone. I can only run 45 FPS on an RTX 3080, whilst another
What?
said I have an RTX 2080 and I get 40 to 60 FPS
What?
when fighting, lowest settings. The game is not optimized at all, getting terrible FPS FPS was a universal problem, as was the game's constant unexpected crashes. The game's early problems were best summarized here.
Bro.
I mean, it's pretty fun, but it needs a shit ton of work done to it. There are so many bugs that are real easy to
Did they release the
fix.
game
You
way
guys
too
should have done
early?
more work to it before release. These reviews were acknowledged and rectified.
We got mixed reviews on Steam because the game kept crashing, but we fixed it.
However, later in the video, Lazarbeam experienced more bugs of his own.
My RPGs aren't firing. Look away, look away, look away.
Joking that the game is perfect and nothing is
What?
broken. Despite this, the game was now crashing less frequently, which should have helped it retain a player base, judging by reviews such as it'll be a good game once they fix all the technical issues and bugs.
Yeah, why would they
However, even
release this
after these
game?
problems were solved, World Boss was still rapidly
Why would they release a game that has so much bugs? Like, did they just run out of time? They couldn't no longer afford it? Like, bro, like, what happened? Because the only reason why the game will have this many bugs, especially for like online stuff, is because, well, they rushed the release date. So I wonder what happened. Like, why would they rush it?
bleeding players, as the gameplay itself also had many issues. It gets boring quickly, and I don't get anything out of the gameplay. This game gets boring way too easily. The gameplay is somewhat okay at first, but gets repetitive quickly. Sadly, the game seemed to lack any meaningful variety, with the official Twitter page even joking, "My favorite thing about World Boss is probably how unique of a game it is." I mean, how often have you seen guns in a video game? Guns, truly pushing boundaries. The game lacked meaningful objectives or worthwhile goals to work toward. Becoming World Boss was the only primary target.
The objective was really to just be World Boss and just have an HP buff, and that's it.
And people complained that even this was too difficult to be fun. 99.99% of games you join are almost 15 plus minutes in, and you spawn with over 500% less health than every other player. I spawned in with 1000 health. The World Boss, who's supposed to be the best, has over 7.5k health. What a
Holy
legit joke
shit.
to put me in 5 straight games at level
So
1.
it was
when
it
the
was
World
very
Boss
bad
and 4
balance.
plus other
Okay.
players are level 15 plus, with 5 to 10x my health is laughable. As a result, players completely ignored the World Boss and just tried to fight each other.
Instead of everybody teaming up to take down the World Boss, people would just avoid fighting the World Boss altogether and just keep fighting amongst themselves to level up.
Which kind of made it a mediocre shooter with no real advantage
Yeah.
over other similar games. Another
What?
issue was that the mechanics weren't intuitive. For example, when Fortnite was first released, you could watch someone play it for less than 5 minutes and have a decent understanding of the entire concept.
Right,
With
right.
World Boss,
Building-
however, even after watching many different videos and playing multiple rounds yourself, the concept and objectives are still pretty foggy. It seems the only thing that did work well was the World Boss in-game item shop.
Despite the fact that the game launched in a broken and unfinished state, it had full-on microtransactions on day one.
Good to know that despite the terrible condition this game is in, they prioritized adding microtransactions over playability. Obviously, this wasn't really fresh and Laser's fault.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, they should not have like pushed the microtransactions right away. Especially if their game wasn't ready. They should have been like, all right, we're not gonna sell anything yet. Obviously, I understand why they need microtransactions. I understand that. But they should have been like, all right, we're not gonna sell anything yet because it's not ready. So we're not gonna give people like a way that people could spend their money on a game that's not ready and like give them a feeling, oh, they're just wasting their money, or this is like bad, like it's just a greedy BS game that's just after just money. Like that's the only goal, right? Obviously that should be a good goal, obviously make money, don't get me wrong. But if you know your like, I don't understand, like, you know your game is buggy, like 100%. You did the beta test. They had to find some buggy stuff. What was the difference from a beta, and then what was the difference from your release date? Like what happened?
However, their promotional activities weren't perfect either. For example, when World Boss first came out, Fresh hadn't made a video in more than half a year, and returning specifically just to promote the game wasn't exactly the greatest look. The thing is, Fresh quit working on the game and quit gaming in general, and Lazarbeam just clearly gave up after that. Laser only ever made the one video about it, and perhaps sold it a little too casually for something they'd spent so much time on. 5 months after they opened early access, the game was down to 160 concurrent players, at which point Lazarbeam appeared on Impulsive. When the game came up in conversation, Lazarbeam talked about it being a difficult business.
What about World Boss?
That is cool. That is cool.
Like, bro.
Games are tough. Games are very tough. Games take years, and like we're still developing it.
Mainly owing to extreme competition.
The response is really cool, and people really get behind it. But at the same time, when you're competing with Fortnite, you're competing with Call of Duty, you're competing with all these massive games. Like, it is a process to compete. I think the base of the game is great, and we're getting there. It's just with gaming, it's just so hard to nail it.
Laser further added,
To get people addicted to playing your game is like a very difficult task.
So hard.
So I can promote it as much as possible, but it's like,
No shit, it's the light service game, bro. It's a no light service game. Like, why would they want to play your light service games compared to Fortnite? Or compared to Marvel Rivals at this point too as well? Because again, not everybody has plenty of hours upon hours to play a video game, right? An average person may have like 2 to 3 games to play, like on average, right? Which not even a lot of hours between those 2 to 3 games, or maybe just 1 or 2, right? There are players like me that have a lot more time to play, like maybe like story-based games or things that have an ending. That's what games I usually play. I don't play a lot of multiplayer games because there's just too much time and too much effort to put on them to grow, and you know, the season pass, all that kind of stuff. It's just too much for me, right? I play when I feel like, and that's it. And the average person doesn't have, like, they have to choose World Boss over Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, Apex, Call of Duty. There's so many live service games at this point. It was a bad idea to go this big on this project for a Fortnite-sized game. What they should have done, should have started small. A indie-sized game that won't cost as much money, and go for it, like, try to get your audience to like your games that you're being publishing. It could be a shooter, but it doesn't have to be a live service right away. It could just start as an indie game first. Look at Donkey. He released his indie game that was Adam Well was well received, and it was indie. He didn't make a big project AAA game right away because he knew if he did it, he would have failed. Because that's the whole different world right there. You got to start off small. You can't just start off big, and it's gonna work very well right away. Especially on live service, bro. Bad idea, man. Bad idea. I understand it in one aspect because the market was live service, like the people that are watching Fortnite, but that doesn't translate into when you're selling a product.
like they're not gonna endlessly just play it because I say, hey,
Yeah.
play the game.
With promoting a video game being extra hard, as you can't promote it in every upload like Feastables or Prime. Being unable to thrive without constant promotion, the World Boss player base only fell further. However, the game's full version release had the potential to bring it back to life. That announced that everything is changing in World Boss 1.0 with a brand new map and an actual objective in each game. Lazarbeam was hyped about the new updates, which had reignited the interest of over 100,000 people. However, again, for whatever reason, this simply didn't translate into actual players, with the official release barely making an impact. That very same month, PlaySide released their yearly financial report, announcing losses of 5.7 million. That side, there is a risk that new title releases are not received in a positive manner by the market, or generate the anticipated level of player engagement. This can lead to lower than expected revenue, possibly referring to World Boss. PlaySide therefore accepted that it couldn't be saved, and completely stopped updating the game. The official Twitter and Instagram were both abandoned, whilst Laser and Fresh both stopped talking about it. This dropped the player base lower and lower, to the point of being unable to fill a single lobby, creating a brand new game-ending problem. No one plays this, it's all bots. Every single lobby is just bots. Lobbies are entirely bots if you can connect to one.
Now, I'm not accusing them of putting fake players in the game, but like 90% of these people feel not real.
Each lobby needs at least 14 players, which the game rarely has at any one time. Therefore, in every single game, you're just versing 13 other bots who are so incredibly easy to beat, you can get hundreds of kills with just a couple deaths. My first game, I got 185 kills. Love it. Against bots. These lobbies are so unchallenging that once you get World Boss, you can just stand still and have the entire lobby spraying you without it barely having an impact on your health. The current state of the game is best summarized here. The so-called players are bots, and the game is way too easy, and it's pretty shit.
I make poor choices, but
what a way, dude. What a way to end it.
720.
Yeah, they just messed up. They went for a basic, no uniqueness branding art style that doesn't get anybody excited, and no balancing to the gameplay of like the world boss or something like that, right? Where like they gotta put some advantages to people who are like don't have that much life or something to get to become the world boss. I'm pretty sure it's a unique idea. I'll give it that, but yeah, it didn't really have a brand to it as well. It just didn't have it. It's an obviously game made by influencers. The moment he announced it, I knew it was gonna flop just because PewDiePie did it with 2 Simulator, and doesn't mean everyone can. I made a game out of the streamer's mouth means I loosely engage with a company that makes the game. That's pretty much what it is. Like somebody hired him to be the face of the game, but it was not actually his game. That's literally how that works, really. It looks like kind of like a video game you see on TV shows with the characters, the gamer. Yeah, it's like when you see them on like those dramas or TV show of them playing video games. It's like a random 3D image, like generic kind of game, because obviously they're not gonna pay licensing fees for a set game. Some companies do, but mostly don't. They just create like a basic game pretty much, where they just pause and move on. But yeah. The best way I can describe World Boss is they work so hard to create a Fortnite clone, but they forgot to make the main gameplay loop interesting enough for players to want to switch. If you want a game like Fortnite, there's no reason to choose World Boss over Fortnite. Exactly. And getting into live service game is a very competitive field that even big AAA companies can get it right. So why the F do you think you guys can get it right? Simple as that. Like, they're just so dumb. They are so freaking dumb, man. Like, if you want to create a game, guys, do not create a game that is live service. That's it. Do not go into live service yet. Create a game small first, like an indie-like game. It doesn't have to be like Metrovania. It could be a really cool shooter game or something like that. But make it indie, guys. Make it indie. Because you can see what mistakes you are gonna make with the indie game, which won't cost you a lot of money, and you can fix it within the next game you create. And keep building and going bigger and bigger and bigger with the next titles you release. That's literally what you should do. Never go big. And also, please invest on money of finding a unique art style for your game, because that's what gets people's attention as well. Because a uniqueness, a unique image for the game / brand like Fortnite does, and Apex or whatever, right? They have a unique styles to them or their own ways to create the characters. And kind of go from there. Simple as that. Well, not simple, but you get the idea.